Well, hey everyone, it's Andrew Breault. Welcome to this tutorial video. I guess you could call it a tutorial because I am showing you how to screen record, edit, and promote content right from your iPad. Something I'm really excited about. So I've waited for so long to be able to screen record directly on my iPad. And with iOS 11, if you've been following along, Apple finally built in the ability to do screen captures or to record your screen while you are doing whatever you want to do on your iPad. So for instance, right now, we're sitting here using a keynote presentation. We're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff with it, I think. But first of all, we need to know how to even turn screen recording on so that you can start recording content. Now, this is content that you could post out to YouTube or Facebook or use in your classroom, which I'm really excited about, or use it in a virtual classroom. So you could be using your screen capture and everything that I'm about to show you in this video. You can use it to create content to then put onto your learning management site. So if you're using Kajabi or Teachable or what's the other big one out there? I don't remember offhand. But anyways, if you're using something like that, you can be creating content to post out there and capturing it right off your screen. So how do we turn it on? That's the very first thing we need to know how to do. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find the little Apple settings cog menu on your iPad, whatever that little thingy is called. And it may not be in your dock. It may be somewhere out here on one of the pages of your iPad. I'm super organized. I'm a little bit OCD. Don't judge me, but I like to keep everything right on the home screen so I don't have to flip through a whole bunch of different screens. So instead of flipping through, I organize all of my apps into specific folders. If you don't do that and you're one of the ones that just kind of scatters things everywhere, you may need to flip through a few of your screens before you find that little menu. But click on that menu, and what will happen is you're going to find yourself on this page called General when you first log in. And what you need to look for is Control Center. Once you do that, click on Customize Controls. That is going to bring up this screen right here. And as you can see, by default, screen recording is not in the included. See what it says included up here? But we do have things like flashlight, camera, your alarms, and timers, and things like that. So all you need to do is hit this little plus button right here, and it will automatically load into your included screen. See, there we go. Now what you can do is, if you don't, it doesn't really matter. This part doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm kind of OCD, but you can move these around into a position that you like. So if you just like touch and hold on these three little lines right here, you can move this thing up or down if you want to. I like to keep mine like right here. And the reason is as you'll see, now that it's right there, if you swipe up from the bottom of the screen and keep on swiping up until you see this screen. So it's kind of I'm not even actually sure what Apple calls this screen, but it allows you to view all of your open apps, plus it gives you your control center over on the side. Go figure. And now you'll see that you've got a little screen capture symbol. Now yours will not be blinking red. Mine's blinking red right now because I'm recording this video. So it will be grayed out like these other ones, like the camera one right above it. And if you press and hold on it, you'll get some other settings and features. So right now, as you can see, I'm in the middle of recording, so it's flashing and the numbers are counting up, letting me know how long I've been recording for. You will also see any apps on your iPad that allow you to do a screencast from. Really awesome. You can actually go to like Facebook Live and you can live stream your screen on Facebook. And I'll actually talk about some current issues with that here in just a minute, because we're going to actually run into an issue when we go to edit this video. And I'll explain a little bit more about the issue with live streaming from your screen and why I'm not just live broadcasting this video right now. So as you can see, I've got my camera roll selected. When I hit stop on this thing, it will automatically drop a video into my camera roll, which can then be edited. All right, before we go any further though, you want to make sure that you are using a good microphone. I mean, you could be in a really quiet environment and go ahead and use the microphone that's built into your iPad. That's okay. But what will happen is you will actually hear anytime you tap the screen or touch the screen, or if you're like me and you're using Apple Pencil, you will hear every single time that you touch the screen with Apple Pencil, you'll hear a little click sound in the background. You may even hear it with this microphone I'm using because I'm pretty close to the iPad. So what I recommend you do is to pick up a lav microphone or a lavalier microphone. And the one that I recommend, you don't have to use this one, but I think it's probably one of the best ones out there. And it is the Rode Smartlav Plus. And I bought mine from B&H which is actually what your the app that you're looking at on the screen. Do they have any brand? I don't see any of their branding on the screen right now. But this is an amazing microphone, and you just plug the thing into your iPad, and it automatically recognizes where the audio source is coming from. And I think it does a really good job of recording over just the built-in microphones that are on your screen. You also won't be hearing all the screen taps, and usually it'll be pretty muffled if you actually hear Apple Pencil touch the screen. Also, one of the things this is optional, you don't actually need this, but I really like it, and it's also made by Rode. It's the SC6 dual TRRS input for microphones and for headphones. And what it does is you can plug into your iPad. So iPads luckily still have the 1/8 inch jack, which is a TRRS. So you can kind of see on your screen here, we've got a tip, and then there's 2 rings and a sleeve, right? TRRS, that's what that stands for. That's what this stands for right here. All right, and what it does is it allows you to plug in up to 2 microphones, and you've got headphones right here. So that's really cool because, you know, sometimes maybe you are not doing screen recording and you want to be able to use your iPad to capture video with the camera, and maybe you're doing an interview and you still want to be able to hear your voice. So you can wear the Smartlav, and then you can use another microphone, either another Smartlav or I have another larger microphone that I can put on my iOgrapher, and then that picks up the audio from the other person. Plus you can be listening on a pair of headphones at the exact same time. So really awesome. Another thing that is optional, but I highly recommend if you have a other video camera, or maybe you're using a DSLR for shooting some of your videos in your classroom, or when you're out, just out and about and you're wanting to get great audio on your DSLR, is you would need something like this in order to plug the Smartlav in, because other audio devices use a TRS. See this right here? TRS, which is a tip, ring, and the sleeve. For those of you who are not in the know. Sorry, I'm a little bit of an audio person. That kind of where my background is from, like over 25 years ago. So I get a little bit crazy about this kind of stuff, or a little excited. But this converts the TRRS of the Smartlav Plus into a TRS that can then go into a video camera or an audio board or anything like that. So just understand that if you get the Smartlav, you can't just plug it into anything. It really will only work with smartphones or smart devices. Like they will work on some computers that have a single jack that is a TRRS, but you would need to check your manufacturer and the settings on your device to see if that is the case. Okay, I think that's it for that part. Where do we go from here? You know what? I guess I wasn't really thinking. I guess I wasn't thinking everything through. So what I wanted to show though is how I'm getting audio into the device while I'm doing the screen capture. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to take the video that I'm currently making right now. I'm going to show you some issues with it, and then we're going to put that into a couple of different programs so that we can get it into iMovie, start editing, and then I'll show you the process of how I go through the editing, and then how I post it to YouTube, and then how I go about promoting it, the different things that I do to go about promoting that video and hopefully getting more people to see the content. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so I got to shut down this particular screen capture so that we can work with this video. But then as we continue through the magic of video, I'll be able to continue doing the screen capture once we have this one saved, and then we can continue on. All right, just like that, through the magic of video, we are back, and we can see that we now have the video that I just shot a second ago. And we're going to take, and I'm going to show you how I now edit the videos together. Now, there'll be several more parts to the video because I'm going to have to add some stuff later, but I'm going to show you some of the issues that happens with screen recording right out of the gate. All right, so the first thing is I do all of my editing right on the iPad inside of iMovie, right? That's the, you know, in my opinion, probably the best way to edit on your iPad. Just go ahead and use the built-in iMovie. So we'll go ahead and go in there, and I'm going to start there's a project I'm currently working on. Yes, I love making food and stuff, so I'm starting to do some food videos as well. But I'm going to go ahead and start a new project. I'm going to say a new movie. And I'm going to go ahead and choose that screen capture that we just did. And I'm just going to say hello. Just select the one and then come down to the bottom of the screen where it says create movie. And I'm going to tap on that. And voila. Okay, we're in. So here is the big issue with screen capturing, at least currently, what happens on iPad. As you can see, if you look down at the bottom, there is no audio. And this really stumped me the first few times that I went to screen record and edit. I was like, what on earth is going on? How come none of the audio worked? If I go out to the actual video, if I come out here, and we'll go ahead and say play. Let me put my headphones on here just so I can make sure that we're actually getting audio out. We should be able to hear. We'll give it a second because you're going to hear double audio here. It took me a minute to get going, so let's scrub captures or to record your screen while you are doing whatever you want to do. Okay, so see, we had audio there, so we know that there's audio inside of this video. So it really stumped me on why, when you go over to iMovie kind of glitched out there for a minute, showed a really old project. Okay, so when we go in, why on earth is it not showing that there's any audio? And if I play through it, you'll notice no audio. It sounds like it's absolutely blank. So when this happened, I turned to the Apple support community, and actually over the course of about 2 weeks, along with a couple other people around the planet, we tried every single thing possible to figure out what was going on, and we discovered that there are actually 3 different audio layers inside of a screen capture. And this is why there's an issue with live streaming out to Facebook or to any other app for that matter, is because for some crazy reason, Apple created more than one audio channel. The very first audio channel, which is the one that Facebook and all those other apps use as their audio source, and the only one they use for their audio source, is actually the system audio on your iPad. So like for a second ago when you actually heard the audio coming off of the video that we recorded earlier, that's the audio that's being grabbed. And that's also, ironically enough, what iMovie is looking at. It's looking at the audio that is coming off of the device. Well, since nothing we played actually had any audio, it's like nothing is there. So how do we fix this? Well, the first thing is we can't keep this in here, so we're going to just go ahead and have to delete this out. and I'm going to say done, and it's currently saying my movie. So let's do screen recording. So there we go. And I don't even know if this is going to stay. Will it stay as a project? Yes, it did. Good. It kept my project. That's awesome. So what we discovered after a lot of research and a lot of messing around with different apps is that you need to use, well, there may be other apps that do this. I don't know for sure, but the one that we found that works is called Splice. And this is an app by GoPro, so the people that make those little tiny action cameras. This is their app that they made for editing GoPro footage and stuff like that. Ironically enough, it actually figures out that there's multiple sources of audio inside of the videos that iPad records, and it will save them out into one single audio source. So all we need to do here is go up to the little plus menu, and we're going to add that screen capture tutorial that we did a minute ago. I'm going to say add. I'm going to skip doing any of this stuff. Well, you can add music to your video. We don't want to do that. We just want to use the video itself. And okay, here we go. We're going to change the project name to screen capture. There we go. And all of these other settings don't mean anything. Just make sure that the format is set to landscape and go ahead and say done. Also, I've turned off the little outro. So if you look down here in the bottom right, you'll see that the little GoPro symbol made with Splice, that is actually turned off. And the screen capture video is now sitting there in the center of the screen. So we're perfectly fine with that. I don't need to do anything here. Don't need to change anything at all. All I need to do is hit the little export button up here in the top right hand side. It's a little square with the arrow pointing up. And then I am going to click save. In just a minute, I have to stop the screen recording first. I'll stop the screen recording. I'm going to click save, and it'll take a couple of minutes, but it will create a brand new video that is now not just the screen, but it'll be in the widescreen format, so we can actually put it into, so we can actually drop it into iMovie in widescreen. It'll save it out, and all of the audio will be correct. That video is finished exporting, so now what we can do is jump on over here to Photos, and we're gonna see that we now have this widescreen video that's exactly the same if you look 2 videos before it, 1110, 1110, only this one's now in widescreen, so I know that that's the one we want to add to the iMovie project. So let's go ahead, and I had to shut some things down for some crazy reason. Splice decided not to export the video for me the first couple of times I tried, so I had to shut down Splice and then reopen it, and had to shut everything else down in the background. So let's go ahead and jump back into iMovie. There we go. Here's our screen capture tutorial. We'll click on that. We'll click on edit, and we are in. All right, let's jump on up to video up here in the media browser, and we'll go to all, which is perfectly fine. And then here we're going to choose the top one, and we'll say add. And now, yes, we have audio. Look at that. So we finally have our audio channel that we recorded in that first video. So it really was there. It was really in the video. It's just that iMovie was not recognizing the audio channel. Now I'm going to show you kind of my process of how I go about editing down this video, because there were a few mistakes in it, and I just need to like cut those mistakes out. So what I will do is I can see right here I was silent for quite a while I was waiting for everything to be in place. And I'm also going to show you a really cool feature here inside of Keynote that I did in the background. So what I do is I'll just scrub through until the playhead is like right there. And how I'm doing this, I wish that screen capture would actually show you my touches. I don't know why Apple has not built that feature in. Hopefully it will be added in the future, but I wish you could actually see on the screen where I was touching when I touch it. But I'm just grabbing a hold of this thing that's moving down here in the timeline. It's the video in the timeline, and I'm just grabbing a hold of it and moving it back and forth. So as you can see, the playhead doesn't go anywhere. The video actually moves. So I'm just going to go right here. I'm going to tap on the video again so that it highlights it in yellow, and then underneath the actions menu, I'm going to say split. Now, I don't know why, but once again, for some reason, when it splits it, it doesn't split it right where the playhead was. So you're actually going to hear, or may actually hear, that the audio gets cut off a tiny bit at the beginning, even though I had the playhead just a little bit before that. So with the first little video clip that we just split apart, with that selected, I can now say delete and just get rid of it, because this is actually where we want the video to start. Now, before I go any further, what I said I was going to do, which was, like, in my opinion, super awesome with Keynote. So remember, while I was in Keynote, you could see this little, if you look at the bottom of the preview bar there, you can see the toolbar for Keynote was in place. There's a reason why I shot that video in widescreen, and here's why. If I tap the video in the timeline, I now get a little plus sign up here in the video viewer, and so I can hit that little plus sign and it says pinch to zoom video. So now I can actually zoom in on the slide, and I'll move it around just a little bit just to make sure that I'm like right at the spot that I want to be. And there we go. I think that's going to be really good. If I zoom kind of back and forth here, I can see I'm just going off into the black. So I'm just going to leave that right there. And now watch as I scrub through this. We'll scrub up here to where I actually wrote on the screen. And check it out. You don't see the toolbar. You just see what I am doing on the screen while I'm scrubbing through. Is that crazy awesome or what? Okay, maybe you're not as impressed as I am, but I was super excited when I saw this, because that means I can do Keynote presentations, draw attention to what I need attention to while I'm teaching, but while people are viewing the content, they don't have to see the tools going on in the background. So if you are an educator and you're watching this video, you should be super excited about that right now. As much so as me, or maybe even more. Okay. All right. As you can tell, I get just a little bit excited about these things. So I'm trying to remember. I think I like goofed up at a spot, and then I stopped talking. Sorry, my nose starts getting a little stuffy in the evenings. I don't know why. Let's see if this, maybe is that the spot? I think it was while I was talking about, this. Let me throw my headphones in real quick. Okay, so nope, that's not the spot that I was thinking of. So I'll have to go back through later and edit this more precisely. But let's go ahead and we'll jump out here to the very end. We'll listen and see what we got here. And then we can continue on. All right, so now I'm going to use a different tool here, and that is with the video highlighted. Get these things out of my ears. That sounds a little weird. With the video highlighted, if I click the little yellow block at the end, right there, I can now move it and trim the video in. And so I can just come up here and stop, and now I'm ready to drop the next video in place. Now I have not exported the next video. It's this one right here. But all I have to do to get that video in place is to highlight it, and you can actually just double click it and it'll just bounce right into place. But as you can see, I have not put this one into Splice yet, so it is not ready for exporting. Oh, that's right. I played, I can see the little bit of audio there because remember I played that video, the video that we had done. So there's an example of how it's picking up system audio, but it's not picking up the voice. It's putting the voice on a different audio channel. That's why we needed to use Splice in the first place. Now let me talk real quick about this little edit right here. And what Apple has done inside of iMovie is by default, they have added in a crossfade. So you see how it fades in and out? If you look at the preview window up top, you'll see it fading in and out and in and out. Okay, so to change that, we can just click on the edit or the transition right there, and I can just say none. And now it'll just jump back and forth between the two video clips that we put in before. And I'm also seeing that there's an edit that needs to be made because it looks like while I was talking about these things and then I stopped somewhere in here, boom, and it went out. So I can actually get as close, whoops, yeah, let's not do that. Okay, I don't want to do that, so let's undo. There we go. I can get as close as I can here to the spot where I go full screen. There we go. It happens right there. So I can actually trim this. I can split it. We'll scroll into this and we'll hit pinch to zoom out. And now we can view the whole entire screen again as I finish up talking at the end of that video. And that gives us everything that we need on the screen there. So let's just see, was there any other part of that? No other part. Oh, yes, when I go to talk about screen capture right in here. So I shut it down right there. Well, whoops, we got to cut this first. And then we want to zoom this one out. Whoops. There we go, so that now we can see what I'm actually doing on the screen. See, because we were in Keynote before, and then we go back into Keynote right here. And boom, we're back into Keynote. And so I'm just going to zoom, and as this is flying in, I'm going to split that. And we'll zoom back over to here so that we can see where the full slide is once again. I wish there was a way just to like punch in a certain percentage and then it would stay right where you need it, but as of right now, there's not anything like that. All right, so we've got that all in place, and let's make sure that we're still recording. Good, we are. For some reason, I wasn't sure if I was still actually capturing, and I thought it'd be kind of weird if I went through all that time and wasn't actually capturing anything. So there we go, we jump back and forth. Awesome, so that's the first part that is edited. So now let's talk about how to get this video. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna add some more parts to it. We've still got some things to do in Splice, but just because of the nature of what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to teach here, I've kind of got to break this up into parts and then edit the video and then upload it and then kind of show you some things that I do once it's uploaded. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say done. And now from here, I can already see that there's an issue with that screen. I did not move up the how to screen record part. I did not move that up high enough. So I'll go back in and edit that out later. But what I wanted to show was how to actually export the project once you're all done is you just click, once again, the little export button down here at the bottom. And then you say save video, and when you do that, it asks you what quality you want it to be, and then it automatically puts it over into your Photos app. Okay, when we come back, we're going to get this thing uploaded to YouTube, and then I'm going to show you how I create my thumbnails for YouTube, and then also how I go about promoting this particular video on my other social media channels. All right, so I think that's all I'm going to do for this particular tutorial for today. I'm going to go ahead and do this in a two-part series because this video is already getting pretty long. So next time we will cover how to actually upload and promote the content right from your device. So for now, if you've been following along, please take a moment and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. Also, post your comments and your questions right down below this video. I would love to answer them in a future video. Also, if you would like to, you can come follow me on these other social media channels. I love posting about family life and food over on my Instagram channel, and you'll see that if you visit me over there. Also, if you want to see a lot of behind the scenes type stuff, come check out my Facebook page, Andrew Breault YouTuber, and also you can connect with me on LinkedIn and Twitter. Would love to connect with you there. That's all for now, guys. See you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.